So then, the French Grand Prix. Potentially the last one for a while if all the rumours going around the world of Formula 1 are to be believed. And what do we think of it? Well, it appears that Charles Leclerc's home curse also stretches to the French round of the championship. At the same time, none of the French or, Monegasque drivers had a particularly good weekend. And up at the front, there are some stories and some bits which feel a bit like a non-story. Let's talk about Ferrari, who, Carlos Sainz said they got the strategy right. And he said there's no such thing as Ferrari strategy issues. And then he got annoyed when they pitted him so he could serve his 5-second penalty, which they got for an unsafe release, which is a strategic call made by Ferrari. So I don't know. As a Mercedes fan, it was good to see Lewis celebrate the 300th win with 300th win. Sorry, I'm getting way too far ahead of myself. 300th race with a second place finish. It would have been nice if it was a win today, but to only be 10 seconds off the back of Max at the end of the race, even though Max was obviously cruising a bit more, shows that the modelling that we have, all these predictions that we have about pace, aren't really there quite the same. And as we go to the Hungaroring next week, one of Lewis's favourite tracks, hopefully we can see a win before the summer break. George Russell was seen as the driver that everyone was complaining about whinging today. He was talking about rule books and Sergio Perez. And then there was a safety car restart, which confused a Red Bull driver and a Mercedes driver, leading to an overtake that some people think shouldn't have happened. Oh wait, sorry. We are talking about the French Grand Prix, right? So that VSC ruling. If I'm honest, it just looks like it's an issue in the race direction. For restart procedures, the race direction in Formula 1 has an issue with safety car restarts and following the rules in regards to things such as the timings, doesn't it? And you know what they say, you win some, you lose some. I think Red Bull need to look at that before they try and lodge any appeals. But, I mean, Christian Horner and rule consistency, what are we expecting? What we do expect is, Red Bull to consistently be up at the front. We see that on Max Verstappen today. Is it time now that we say he's a two-time champion? Because it looks like Ferrari's implosions are becoming more and more apparent. They're closer to Mercedes now and the manufacturers than they are to Red Bull. If you look at the driver standings, again, it's 63 points the gap between Leclerc and Verstappen. 63, the number of George Russell, who got another podium today, third place, good job for him. Beaten by his teammate again comprehensively this weekend, but at the same time continues that run of if he finishes in the top 5. And George Russell now 5th place. He is now 37 points behind Charles Leclerc. It's annoying. I as a fan, coming off the back of 2021, I'm willing to mind it even with the toxicity of how last season went. If it was like tooth and nail all season long between Verstappen and Leclerc, that would have been for good racing. But the racing isn't really close. You have one weekend where whichever one shows up and is ahead at the start tends to run off into the distance. The new rules really haven't made it any easier. It doesn't help that the two front-running teams went against the spirit of the rules and when it came to designing their flaws. And I think that's the main thing. Like, they've changed the rule sets, but Paul Ricard didn't improve as a race. It's not that Paul Ricard's a bad track. It's not that the chicane is an issue on the Mistral, because it produces good racing as a track. But F1 really needs to think about how it's going to get these rules set, especially if they're saying they're looking for close racing. In my opinion, smaller cars. Smaller cars, lighter cars, you can still get the same kind of build quality that you want, the same kind of sturdiness, same kind of strength, without having to have them weigh more than the average road car. But it really depends on how F1 want to do this, how FOM want to do this. Because I know we're too early into rule cycle to properly judge it, and it's really going to be next season when we see the floor clampdown thing, then we'll see what the actual outcome is. But yeah, it's not great, is it? Because where they were like, oh, we're trying to reel in any kind of one manufacturer domination, they haven't really done that. All they've done is shuffle around which two teams were at the front. But elsewhere, double points for McLaren, that was good. Ricciardo was ahead of Norris for a while, and then later on, Norris got back in front. Double points for Alpine, good job as well for them. Alonso ahead of Ocon, but Ocon good at recovery drive, and especially after a penalty for turning around poor Tsunoda on the first lap. And nearly double points for Aston. Stroll ahead of Vettel for some points for the Silverstone-based team. good points all for the young Canadian. Doesn't say all of it, but then I'm pressed for time. We're going through the rest of this clip montage thing. Thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.